Hey guys, welcome to the channel where I'll be working on my EG Hatch Civic. As you can see, it looks pretty bad. It has some mismatched panels and literally a rattle can paint job that I did in my garage. Now I'm going to show you the overview of what I got to work with and what I've done so far. Now I've done some mods to improve the quality of the ride myself, but unfortunately I have very little experience working on cars, so sometimes it's kind of a hit and miss with the upgrades. As you can see, the tires not the right size and they do rub. Now it is a single cam with no VTEC, unfortunately, but hopefully that'll change in the future. Now I've recently been thinking about getting this car professionally painted, but I still haven't decided on a color. In the meantime, however, I wanted to paint the engine bay myself, but since I don't have the proper tools to actually remove the engine and do this the right way, I figured let's just see if I can do this the easy way and how quickly I can get this done and hopefully not mess it up too bad. So we started with taking off the bumper just so we can get a better view. The door. No. I know, I gotta buy new ones. But man, look. Zip ties, boys. if it ain't broke. And now that it's loose, we can mess with the lights. Okay, so here we are after removing all the stuff that could be removed, and you can see here that it looks absolutely filthy. I mean, honestly, it's pretty bad. So the only thing left to do is to get started cleaning. Okay, so after we finished cleaning, the proper step that would come after would be to sand it down. However, as I mentioned earlier, I wasn't interested in doing this the right way because I knew I couldn't afford it. I was interested in doing this the easy way / fastest, which meant that basically all I did was clean as much as I could, and I did a little bit of sanding, just a little, just enough so that where you touch the engine bay you can feel that it's smooth. Now ideally you want to sand as much as you can so that the new paint adheres properly to the engine bay. However, I didn't actually have decent paint, so I thought, why not? Let's just give it a shot. I don't really feel like taking out the radiator or removing all the clips for the wires, so just push them aside, and once the paint dried after one coat, we'll just flip it over and do the other side.
8 hours later.
So the next morning, we just used some hefty bags and covered up the engine bay or anything else that we didn't want painted, and once that was done, we began taping the wires and moving them out of the way.
I'm not taking all these bolts off. This wiring, no, we'll just, all this wiring, we'll just take that up.
Now at this point, I feel I should mention that if you've got a little more time or you want to actually make this come out better, then I would highly suggest that you sand it properly, not like I did, and maybe give it a couple more coats of paint. And if you can, ideally you'd want to remove the engine out, because spraying this can at all kinds of angles, it's not the right way to do this, but I just wanted to see if I could. Here we are with the second coat, and as you can see, a lot of tape. And some spots are not taped up. Now, I don't think you guys understand how lazy I am. I didn't want to take anything off that I didn't want to, so I'm just going to be using a lot of tape. So here we are with the final result. Now I do want to mention that the left side actually came out pretty good. Once the intake was removed, I had a lot more space to actually maneuver the can the way it was supposed to be, but the right side, I really should have cleaned it a little better, maybe actually sanded it down, because compared to the left, you can see it's got some pretty noticeable imperfections. I also want to mention that This whole process took me 5 hours of prep and 5 hours of actual painting. Unfortunately, I didn't wait until all the paint was dried before I started putting all the stuff back on, so I did chip some of the paint where the screws bolted on and the parts actually fastened onto the engine. However, you can't really notice them that bad. Seeing as how I only used 2 cans of paint and half a can of clear coat that I had left over, I think it came out pretty good, to be honest. I wish I could have used more clear coat. Honestly, I kind of forgot when I bought the paint that I'd actually need the clear coat. And like I said before, I am by no means an expert in this. I am barely figuring this stuff out. And hopefully I don't mess it up too bad. Oh, and I do want to mention, I actually did only buy those 2 cans of paint. Everything else I had the tape, half a can of clear coat, and the bags at home. So in total, I am $18 in the hole.